And he goes on to say here, they all forsook me. May it not be charged against them. Look at the attitude that Paul had here. He's been forsaken. He has that sense, that feeling that he's been rejected, he's been left alone, he's to face the music on his own. And what is his response? What is his attitude? Lord, forgive them. The things that happen to us in life aren't the issue. It's how do we respond to them. That could be the little things or the big things. I think about a passage that Chuck Swindoll wrote in one of his books. I like it a lot. It's been passed around a lot. And it's simply titled Attitude. And he says, the longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude, to me, is more important than facts. It is more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures, than successes, than what other people think or say or do. It is more important than appearance, giftedness, or skill. It will make or break a company, a church, or a home. The remarkable thing is you have a choice every day regarding the attitude you will embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play on the one string we have, and that is our attitude. I am convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. And so it is with you. You are in charge of your attitudes. And Paul was certainly in charge of his attitude here, because he seems to have given his life to the one who gave him life, the Heavenly Father. He says here, at first, no one stood with me. They forsook me. May it not be charged against them. He was forsaken, and he was forgiving. And then the Lord fortified him. The start of the 17th verse says, but the Lord stood with me and strengthened me. So many things in life that we've messed up. Can be fixed, can be answered. In fact, so many times the only explanation is but the Lord. There's so many things that can come our way. It could be a death in the family. It could be financial trouble. It could be loneliness. It could be a relationship breakup. It could be our children not doing the things that we think they ought to do, not going the way that they ought to go. It could be family members turning on us or turning against us or forsaking us. So many negative things that could happen. How do we respond? I like telling my brother, he drives a dump truck for a living, and he hates traffic. And in regard to this attitude thing, I try to tell him, of course you could have chosen something else to do, but if you'd chosen this to do, and I used to be all pent up and frustrated in traffic too. I've lived in big cities, and traffic can be a nuisance. But I've tried to I eventually figured this out, and I've tried to live by this, and I've told him, you can choose which way you will respond to each situation. And when the traffic is bad, if you get all frustrated and pent up, and your blood pressure is going up, the only thing that is going to do is get you there frustrated and pent up and blood pressure going up. It won't get you there any faster by being frustrated. You have a choice. The traffic isn't going to move because you need it to move. If you ran late, then you ran late. If it's not your fault, it doesn't matter. Traffic isn't going to move because you need it to move, want it to move, desire it to move, are frustrated. So you have a choice. You can get to your destination happy and whistling a tune and enjoying yourself, or you can get there frustrated, pent up, and torn up inside and blood pressure rising. That's the principle I'm talking about here. Whatever it is that's happening to you, it could be a minor thing like traffic, or it could be a major thing. You could be forsaken. But if you have the right attitude, like Paul had, forgiving, loving, kind, tell yourself not to be frustrated, not to worry, not to be fretting and letting your blood pressure rise, because you do have the choice. When you have the right attitude, then the Lord can come in and do his part. He can fortify you. So, it's your choice. How will you handle the things that come your way? Will you give them to the Lord? Will you let him take care of them? Will you trust?